Would it help if I pleaded more? With your help, scores of entries in the OED have already been rewritten. But the challenge is not over yet. This week we're looking at different views of madness and the colourful, sometimes uncomfortable words people use to describe it.
Dumb.
The psychopath.
Ex-psychiatric nurse Jo Brand finds out the diagnostic beginnings of some of these awkward words.
Oh my goodness, I didn't do that on purpose.
The marbles have been released.
Our word hunters are in pursuit of the origins and antedatings of the phrases "dirbrain," "bonkers," and "going bananas." And we are on the hunt for a strange and curious phrase. Mental illness is a serious problem, but you wouldn't think so from the English language. We have an awful lot of comical terms for it. Why? We don't have loads of amusing phrases for broken legs or gastric flu. But when somebody might have something wrong with their brain, suddenly we're ready to discuss it in a host of hilarious ways. It's a bit strange. Where do these phrases come from? We say so-and-so's a bit nutty. That's probably an allusion to having a hard centre for a brain. Or you might say somebody's so cracked that they're crackers. An unfortunate allusion to the brittleness of their brain. In 1896, people started to say that other people were off their trolleys. That was a genuine reference to a derailed trolley car or train. But if we knew where some of these phrases came from, we'd wield them a little less freely. Call someone a basket case and you're not just sweetly suggesting a minor eccentricity. That phrase dates from the First World War and American field hospitals, where a nasty rumour went round that if a patient had lost all his limbs and his mind, he was literally thrown in a basket. Lovely. That's the nuts, crackers, fruitcake. Oh no, I'm one sandwich short. I'm one sandwich short. I'm one sandwich short. Time for our first word hunt. The Oxford English Dictionary have asked for our help in updating their entry for the word short, as in...
Short of a, and variants. Mentally deficient, slightly crazy. A few sandwiches short of a picnic. Sixpence short of a shilling.
We've had a flood of responses. One word hunter in particular has taken this mission to extremes. For the last 15 years, Laura Spire has been listening to Radio 4, ears pricked for similar phrases.
I can be listening to Radio 4 and I suddenly hear a phrase like one sandwich short of a picnic, and I feel compelled to write it down. I'll read the phrases out to you, but I must get my glasses.
One ball short of an over.
3 cans short of a 6-pack. 2 slices short of a loaf. 1 psalm short of a Bible. 2 petals short of a flower.
Enough! Thank you, Laura Spira, but the dictionary is mainly interested in one sandwich short of a picnic. Step forward word hunter Sam Knipe, who's sure her recollection of the phrase precedes the dictionary's.
One sandwich short of a picnic, they immediately triggered a memory in me of the Lenny Henry sketch of Michael Jackson's I'm Bad, where he did a version called I'm Mad. I can remember this song, obviously Michael Jackson's Bad, is, you know I'm bad, you know it.
I'm mad, 3 bricks short of a load. I'm mad, and a hole without a top.
And then there were these little falsetto chorus bits in the background saying, one sandwich short of a picnic.
I'm mad, 1 sandwich short of a picnic. Who's mad? Yeah!
All right, just checking.
What a memory, hurrah! And it's from the 24th of December, 1987. That antedates the dictionary by a full 6 years. But why are we using these balmy phrases? Balmy. The balm is this, for off on top of a beer. The head. If the head is full of air, it's airheaded. Lovely. It's rather appropriate for the tanked-up, balmy army. The strange truth is that many of the terms which sound comic or abusive today were once medical terms themselves. We turned them into jokes. What's wrong with us? Do we need to see a shrink? Former psychiatric nurse Jo Brand guides us through a minefield.
This is the original site of St Mary's of Bethlehem, founded in 1247. It's one of the world's oldest hospitals for the treatment of mental illness. And no, I'm not booking myself in. Well, I actually used to work here. I was here for 4 years, between 1978 and 1982. And it's a bit weird being back. The hospital is immortalised in its well-known adjective form, Bedlam.
Bedlam has moved on to actually describe a state of chaos. So people will say, this house is like Bedlam, and it means chaotic, noisy, screaming, shouting, yelling, in every sense of the word. And in that sense, it's become detached from its meanings, and most people, when using the term Bedlam, do not mean people are mad anymore. They just mean this is a noisy place.
Viewing the inmates here cost a penny every first Tuesday of the month, and many and varied must have been the unkind expressions aimed at the wretched residents. In the 18th century, mental illness was classified into just 2 categories, and here they are: melancholy madness and raving madness, and I've been out with both those 2. But these days, the multitude of labels are the bane of the mentally ill.
All the doctors that come on board start thinking, I know, I've got a new classificatory system. So any doctor worth his salt would think of a new set of classifications. And you got beyond mania, melancholia, to words like paranoia, to moral insanity. A man called Pritchard introduced that in 1835, to the monomanias, etc., etc. It became a language fest, really.
Surprisingly, it's the words that were used as medical diagnostic terms at the turn of the 20th century that have now become expressions of abuse. Take moron, for example. That's an ancient Greek word meaning foolish or stupid. It didn't enter the English language until 1910, and it took about 7 years, I think, for it to become an insult. These days, you hear it in the playground, never in the classroom, and very often when people are watching George Bush on telly.
It was introduced particularly as a technical term to describe those people who had an IQ of 50 to 75. Below 50, between 50 and 25, they called them imbeciles. If they've got an IQ of below 25, can't even speak, they're just muttering away. So they got classified as idiots.
Idiot, in Greek, it meant a private person. So therefore, in ancient Athens, it meant someone who didn't want to participate in the democratic process. These days, of course, an idiot would be someone that did want to go into politics. Perhaps the most depressing, derogatory and downright unpleasant word of this type is cretin, despite impeccable literary credentials. In 1930, D.H. Lawrence wrote, "Can't imagine anybody but a cretin or a moron reading them." And in 1966, James Joyce wrote, "The cretin of a concierge has misdirected half my mail." And when you find out what this cheerless word, and I have to say I have trouble even saying it, really means, you'll see that it's no laughing matter.
The term cretin derives from a particular local description of a group